welcome back. Now, we are using the most seasonal of all ingredients today to whip up an extra special lunch. Shane Rigney from Riggers in Dublin 8 is in charge of the kitchen. Shane, it smells divine.
How are you?
How can this be seasonal? Explain to me.
Well, like pumpkin and squash and those kind of like root vegetables are more in season as we go into
winter months.
Autumn, winter months. So, and obviously pumpkin is Halloween and October and all of that kind of stuff. And
this is good, I guess. You don't want to be wasting, if you're carving pumpkins and squashes and things, this is a way to use up the bits you carve out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like squash, like this is squash and pumpkin, right? So in my recipe, I've said this nifty pumpkin from a can.
Okay.
Which is quite a good product, right? It's very, very common in the States.
Okay.
You can get it in a few shops here, but most people won't be able to get it like in a regular supermarket. So I was just using it because it does give a lovely texture to it.
But a normal pumpkin will do the same.
It's 500 grams. You roast up your pumpkin in the oven and you puree it, and then you just substitute that. Yeah?
And when you say squash, do you mean the butternut squash?
So butternut squash. So what I've done is risotto takes a bit of time, so we couldn't do every step for the segment. So I've pre-done some stuff, so here's one I've done earlier. And then this is some squash that I've just roasted in the oven on a low heat, 150, for about half an hour, half an hour, with some seasoning and oil. And that's it.
Skin on, I see.
And I put the skin on because I think the skin on is loads of fibre, and it's really nice and chewy, and it really roasts down well.
So where would we start with doing this?
So what you'd start is, I've had to jump in and start it, right? So you start with your onion and garlic. So one small onion, very finely chopped, 3 cloves of garlic grated or very finely chopped, and I've just put them in a glug of oil and about 50 grams of butter, okay? And then we've some butter to finish off the risotto at the end, okay? That's yours in front of you there. So I've started to toast the rice.
Yeah.
So once your onion and your garlic is just cooked and translucent, not a lot of colour on it, you throw in the rice and let that toast for a few minutes, but you've got to keep stirring it, stirring it.
This isn't to throw it in the pot and go off and do something for 40 minutes.
It's simple, but it is a bit technical, so you do have to stand over it. So what I've done is I've got this on an accelerated heat, because I want to show you, right?
Okay.
You would have this on a medium heat to start, and then lower it down as you're adding your stock. You can see that I've got my stock bubbling away here to have that hot. I'm actually using chicken stock.
Oh, okay.
Because I like the flavour more, but you absolutely use veg stock, and then it's fully fully vegetarian.
Yes. And if you had vegan cheese and vegan butter, it would be totally vegan.
Exactly, vegan butter, vegan cheese, and it's totally vegan. So it's quite easy to make this vegan.
The options are there.
Yeah. So I have a glass of wine, throw that in, and then you want that kind of nice sizzle, and that will evaporate quickly, okay?
So you're burning off the alcohol. Are you the kind of person who believes that it has to be a kind of wine that you would drink, that you would add in, or are we talking...
I'm not, to be honest.
The bottle you've left in the fridge for the last 3 weeks with a glass worth in it?
There would never be a bottle of wine in my fridge for 3 weeks.
I know, I was only pretending, but I was trying to be polite.
We have met. No, I mean, as you know, you're getting a little bit older, you're trying to actually have a bit more. I mean, we stock wine now in Riggers, and I get really nice wine in.
Okay.
So I'm drinking that.
Yeah.
Although I'm not drinking now for October.
Okay.
But, so a nice glass of wine. I mean, not total,
not
rubbish,
total vinegar.
Yeah. But nice. So
and this is still okay, because if you're making it even to have kids eat it, the alcohol burns off.
It burns off,
so
but it's a really simple part of the risotto. You want that nice quintessential wine flavour.
Okay.
So you can see that that's burning off quite quick, right? And the rice is already starting to release its starch, see?
Okay.
So I lower down the heat now, but as I say, I wanted just to show you how that would just burn off, okay? So to that, you start adding your stock bit by bit. So you want to do about a cup at a time, okay?
Okay.
So you throw a cup in.
Yeah.
You have that hot. You can't just have it in a jug. I had it in a jug for this one, a Pyrex, boiling, and then once it's nice and hot, but it's better to have it on the stove top, okay? Now, because I've lowered the heat there, that will take about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I don't stir it too much, a couple of stirs, and then each time 5 minutes. So I do it about 5 times.
This could be the great thing to do while you're maybe scrolling through Instagram. Scroll.
If you're standing there, glass of wine, phone on the counter, that beside you, just stay at it. Don't go into the living room.
How long are we talking?
About 25 minutes.
Okay.
So what you would do then is, right, you would wait until your stock has all evaporated off. You want about a litre for one pack, 300 grams, and that would feed about 4 people. Okay, and then when that's done, okay, you're going to add your pumpkin in, okay?
This is the same kind of pumpkin that when we see Americans talk about pumpkin pie, this is...
They use this. It's completely savoury. There's nothing in this but pureed pumpkin, but they use this to make pumpkin pie, and obviously they add sugar and all the pumpkin spices like cinnamon and stuff like that, or you can use it in a savoury way. Okay, so you want to stir that in, okay, and then when that's all incorporated, that's going to give you that gorgeous orange colour. That's going to cook away. You can actually do this at this step.
Okay.
And then add your stock as you go. And it will flavour it more, okay?
Yeah.
The flavourings are a pinch of nutmeg, okay? A pinch. You don't want a bar of soap. You know, you don't want to be very florally.
Is that the nutmeg taste?
Nutmeg can give you a soapy kind of like note, okay? And then a load of Parmesan cheese.
Now, you have said the best Parmesan you can afford. I thought all Parmesan, once it was Parmesan, was good Parmesan.
Equal. Well, not really.
All like Parmesans are not created equal?
No, because some will be made like, you know, using other cheese varieties and like they'll just be like Italian hard cheese and stuff like that. So get good Parmesan if you can. Okay, so you can see already how like luxurious that's looking. It's gorgeous, yeah.
Like, I would look at that and I would imagine that you had actually added cream to it, but it's just the Parmesan and
the pumpkin puree is quite creamy.
Okay.
Do you want to have a taste and see what you think?
Oh my God, can I? I thought this was like for display purposes only.
So I'm going to keep adding my stock in, okay? And then just go on a low heat.
Yeah.
If you're thinking, oh, I'll never be able to make that and it's too technical, do what I've done. Just add your stock bit by bit. And then, you know, I actually par cooked that one last night and then finished it with a bit more stock this morning.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So you want it, and a little bit of sage then, so what we're going to do is a little bit of sage just torn through.
This is this green leaf that you have on top, actually, as well. So you put in nutmeg.
Nutmeg.
And what, was there other spices in it?
No, a little bit of sage.
That's it?
That's it. Your stock, don't forget, I was just using a good bouillon. So that's going to give you a lot of flavour there. The Parmesan cheese, there's a load of Parmesan cheese in it. That's going to flavour it quite heavily.
The butter, the last bit of butter in
and then when you're finished, just at the end, you can see that starting to bubble. Another bit of butter just to finish it off.
I'm just going to keep eating this because it's delicious.
There, yeah. And I just pan fried in oil a couple of the sage leaves. That's just for decoration, okay?
They make it look very chefy.
Very chefy.
You could do this at home and make it look very chefy. And I can see the full pieces of
and then there's your
butternut squash.
Exactly. And then there's your squash. So you're going to throw that. You want to keep those whole because you have the pureed pumpkin. If you're doing it at home and you're buying your pumpkin from the supermarket and all you're doing is exactly the same as the squash, you're just roasting that with the squash, taking that out, keeping your squash separate, pureeing your pumpkin and just substituting to the can. Let that bubble away, and this is what you end up, and then that's it. And more Parmesan on top.
That was... Oh, more Parmesan on top.
More Parmesan on top.
Oh, my God, like every good Italian restaurant. More Parmesan? Why do you have to ask? Of course, more Parmesan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is delicious. I really like that. So I'm just going to keep this plate here to myself. Thank you so much. Full recipe details. Gulp, she swallowed the risotto. They're up on our website, or of course, you can call into Shane in Riggers in Dublin 8 to try his wares for yourself. Shane, thank you for coming in. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us, lots more to come.